Hey y'all, hi again. Happy what is today anyway? Tuesday? Yes. Hi, I'm back again. I know we spoke earlier, but I'm back. I'm gonna give you guys some time to come in. So I'm just gonna I'll put the countdown on and just give you some time to come in. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Hey y'all, good afternoon. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Today we're going to be talking about Basketball Wives season 12, episode 2. Um so please hit that like button as you guys come in. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Hit that like button. Hit that like button straight away. All right, let's get into it. So, I think for me, the first thing I wanted to say is when the episode started, the first thing I noticed was that Evelyn is a joke. And I say that because how is she saying, oh, she's strengthening her bonds with her real friends? I'm like, girl, what? Brandy, you and Brandy weren't even cool for most of last season. So now all of a sudden, Brandy is your real friend. I'm just like Evelyn, it's laughable, honestly. Not Jennifer that you've known for such a long time. That person is not your real friend, but your latest friend Brandy and Ty are your real friends. I find that very, very interesting to say the least. And please hit that like button as you guys are coming in. I can see some people are coming in. Hit that like button as you guys come in. So yeah, I think that was the first thing that I noticed, right? Now, I will say I did love the interaction between Brandy, not Brandy, actually Evelyn, Brandy, and Ty. I love the interaction between them. I think Ty is cute as well. I definitely get it. So yeah, I love their interaction. I thought that it brought like a really fun energy to start the episode. I will say I actually enjoyed the episode. Um I wonder like what would you guys rate the episode? Let me know in the chat what you would rate the episode. I think if I had to give it a rating, I would probably say it was a 7. I wasn't bored. I really enjoyed the obstacle course scene. Like I know for me that was my vibe. Even though like I've never been to an obstacle course, but I think it was just really interesting watching them, seeing how competitive people were getting. And yeah, I really really enjoyed that. Now, I want to talk about Jackie and her daughter for a second because I feel like it's so early in the season for so much to have already happened. This is episode 2, honey. And we can see that the daughter clearly ain't feeling mommy, and mommy is overbearing. We saw that from episode 1, right? So I personally don't understand who made that decision that they should both be on the new season of Basketball Wives. Now, it's good for the viewing, it's good for the drama, but is it good for the family though? Let's be honest. In what world would it be okay for your daughter to be speaking about your or speaking about you like that as a parent, right? In public, in that kind of public setting, it's very odd. And the fact that we know that they eventually get into blows and go at it, that is crazy to me. And so I just feel like from day one, even a blind person can see that they have issues. Like from the episode, the premiere, you could see the energy, you could see the conversations, you could see that there was something there. So who had the bright idea that, oh, come on, Basketball Wives, let it be a mother and daughter duo that we know would crash? Who had the idea? And why did Jackie and Chantel agree to that? You guys know you don't have a good relationship. It's obvious. We know. We've not even like hung around you guys, but we can see that you guys don't have a good relationship. Yet we have to be subjected to a whole season of watching you basically go against your mom. Now, that's not to say that I don't feel like Jackie has done things in the past to her daughter that has caused her to become like this. I have noticed that there have been a lot of comments where people are like, Chantel is very negative. I agree. She's very negative. However, I also want us to see it from her perspective as well. Think about it. If somebody has been a certain way for such a long time, has treated you like crap for such a long time, has behaved in a certain way towards you for such a long time, at some point, that's what you expect. So you get to a point where you're on high alert, right? Because you don't know what this person is going to be on, right? You're on high alert. It's almost like you're expecting that, right? It's like I think I heard about a study or something that was done apparently. I don't know if it's a thing. I just know like someone said right? And apparently there was like a I think it was a fly or something like in it and then there was a lid covering it. When they because the case had been there for so long and the fly had tried to fly out of the case for such a while, such a long time and was unable to get out. Eventually when the lid was open, the fly didn't even try. And I feel like that's the vibe. I feel like it's given there has been so much, and I'm saying because we don't know the ins and outs, I would say on both sides. I feel like a lot has happened on both sides. For every single one of them, they have they have struggled. This is my personal opinion. I feel like there has been so much nonsense that has happened in their relationship. But to bring that on the show, and expects that things are going to be okay, it's like, what really did you expect? We could see this whole thing brewing from a mile away. So I hate it for mother and daughter. I hate it for Jackie and her daughter. It's really sad to see. It's really sad to see that the daughter ain't really even seeing it for her mom, is on high alert. Every time her mom says something, she's just like, do you really need to do this now? It's like, oh, we already know where it's going to end and it's not going to end well. So I really hope that they're in a better space now. And I hope that they're both not coming back next season. It needs to be one or the other, at least for the sake of if they still want to maintain a good, healthy relationship. Because I don't know if I can take a season of the mother and daughter going at it and speaking badly about themselves. I just feel like it may be entirely too far for me. Now, guys, hit that like button. There isn't enough likes for the amount of people on this live video, guys. It's a free way to support. Please hit that like button. It is free. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can let me know in the comment section below or hit that dislike button. Both help. Now, let's move on to talk about Ming and Tai. I thought their dynamic is very interesting. And the reason I think their dynamic is very interesting is because I feel like Ming is guilty of the same things that Ming is accusing Tai of being guilty of. And it's so hilarious to watch. It's like when somebody refuses to take accountability for their parts, but they're so quick to bring your parts and how you did something wrong. And it's like, okay, granted, I'm wrong. I did something wrong. I shouldn't have been doing what I've been doing. Absolutely, I get it. However, but you're wrong as well. And I think that's the situation of Ming and Tai. It's given Ming was also creeping. Now, this is just my perspective. That's the vibe I get, right? Because for me, I don't understand the story that Tai basically just said a little bit, where she was like, well, you basically stayed with the man at a hotel and you lied about it. And she's like, mm-hmm, which means she's agreeing that she lied about it. So if that's the case, why are you upset that Ty was on the phone to Drew allegedly for 50 hours? Why are you upset? Because, girl, you were physically in a hotel with somebody. So what are we doing? Especially if you're so upset and talking about, oh, Ty is always creeping or whatever. If that's how you feel, is that why you were at the hotel? Or is there like a different scale for Ty that you don't want to be held to? Like, I just want to know. I'm just asking the questions. Did anyone else get that vibe? Because I was just like, I was on your side, Ming. I really was. Until you basically admitted that you lied about being somewhere with somebody at a hotel or something like that. I'm like, what were y'all doing? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's giving you also stepped out. And if you stepped out, okay, if you both stepped out, then I guess you guys can both discuss it and then decide what to do next. Now, I will say, it sounds like Ty ain't really about the whole settling down vibe. She is just like, I'm going to be outside. That is the vibe I get. I may be wrong. But that's the vibe I get from her from watching her. It's given like, yeah, it'll be nice to, have somebody. But of course, I'm open as well. I feel like that's the vibe. Because even when Evelyn said that, oh, Brandy thinks you're cute, the way she was blushing so much, I'm like, okay, girl, like, all right, do you like her? Do you like Brandy? Is that what this is about? Do you think she's cute too? But I think it would be interesting to see the dynamic of Tai and Ming because they're both in the same circle. They're both clearly not actively dating. I don't know. It's like on and off sort of situation. So I'm not really sure how that's going to thrive in the relationship. Um, with the other castmates and how that's going to affect the dynamic of the group. But I think that would be something interesting to pay attention to. Let's talk about Christian. Here's the thing. So when Christian was talking to Jackie and was also with Jennifer, I could tell that Christian looked upset. He looks like genuinely pissed off. And I can imagine because if someone is out here talking about you and saying that, you're a scammer and you owe somebody, their in laws, cousin, whatever, right? Money, you would be upset too. So I get it. I understand, like, it's not unusual for somebody to be visibly upset when they heard someone talking about them and also uh, talking to their wife a certain way, right? So I get that. Um, I do think that he did provide receipts in his own sense, in his own way, right? And I think interestingly enough, the receipts that he provided were very interesting, right? It was, remember, I don't know, for those of you guys who watched me cover the episode 1, I talked about the fact that there could also be a potential that the 1,500 that Christian collected was more about a flat fee or some sort of expert fee, and then she would still need to be paying. It's interesting that that's what Christian said it was. And apparently, Christian was like the 1,500 was like his flat fee rate. And then she would need to be adding money so that she can trade. And so I think that is very, very interesting. I I actually think like now I'm wondering, Evelyn, did you really do your research? Did you ask for text messages? Did you really check and verify Kiki's story to make sure that it adds up and there are no holes in the story? Because now you look like somebody who is hell bent on breaking the relationship that their friend, so called friend, is in. Even if you don't like the man, and I can understand, even if you don't like the man, right? If somebody comes to you with such information calling your friend's husband a scammer, I would have expected that you would have checked all communications. Like, honey, let's see the text. When did you ask for your money? What did he say in return? What was the response? Did you follow up? Can I see a message showing you followed up? Those are the things. I think sometimes we don't ask enough questions. We run with what people tell us, and we're not like, oh, actually, there seems to be a hole in this person's story. Let me ask. There seems to be a hole in this person's story. Let me get to the bottom of it before I now put myself and my reputation, excuse me, reputation on the line because of somebody. The least you can do, if you're out here saying you're writing for your friend, check the receipts, verify the receipts, make sure the receipts are receipting. Okay. So let me just say this: Christian's receipts on this seem to be receipting, which then makes me wonder: is it that Evelyn concocted this story up with her what's her Kiki, rather, with Kiki, right? That's my question. Is it something that they sat together and were like, ooh, I think for the new season, let's shake things up a little bit? I'm just curious because it just feels like you didn't check messages. It just feels like something very basic to do, considering that Evelyn is a private investigator, or at least working towards becoming one if she isn't one already, right? So I just feel like, yeah, it's seeming a bit rich rather, that she hasn't done her research on that. It's very odd to me. Now, Evelyn said something that was very, very interesting to me. Evelyn said that allegedly, okay, now this, let me put my banner up. Allegedly, okay? Everything is, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So Evelyn basically announced that Jennifer and Christian are allegedly not married. Apparently, she searched, she couldn't find a marriage license. First of all, I'm like, Evelyn, how much time do you have on your hands? And you are a grandma. You have a lot of time on your hands to be searching and looking to see if Jennifer's Jennifer has a marriage certificate. If that's your friend, don't you just pick up the phone and be like, hey girl, how was the wedding in Paris? Oh, wonderful. Did you sign the marriage license? You could have asked her. You didn't need to go and do the research to be looking for a marriage license. This is why I feel like you're not a friend to nobody, Evelyn. Because I know my friends are not going to be out here investigating me privately and investigating what I'm doing. Instead, they will trust what it is that I tell them. So the way you're already moving is given, nah, you don't really, you don't really see her as your friend like that, or you feel like your friendship is disposable enough for this to be the storyline this season. Whatever the case may be, Apparently, there's no marriage license. Now, I don't know if that's true or if that's false. Let me know if you guys have come across any sort of proof that the marriage license, or if Jennifer said anything about it. As far as I know, nothing has been said by Jennifer to defend them having a marriage license. Now, I will say it is not unusual for certain people to do ceremonies and decide not to sign a marriage license, right? Especially if there are things coming up in the pipelines legally. Okay. So, some people, like, if you know, for instance, that your spouse is allegedly doing certain shady deals, right? Or has a past of doing certain shady deals, you know that you marrying that person puts you in a predicament where you may actually end up having to pay for certain things, right? If you have to now pay for certain things, that impacts on you financially, right? Imagine, right? Let's say you're married to somebody, you're on the marriage license, and then somebody sues your husband for something, right? And then they can't get the money from your husband because he doesn't have it. But because you're a unit, they may be able to recoup something from you, right? So that's why certain people do not sign marriage certificates or marriage license, right? So that's just something to bear in mind. So it could be maybe there is something in the pipelines when it comes to Christian that may be coming up. Maybe that's why Jennifer did not sign the license, if that's really true. I think it reminds me of the situation of Yandy and Mendices. Yandy did not sign it. I believe at both weddings that she did do, she didn't sign anything. She was like, I ain't signing ish. Okay, and she did not sign anything, which is like, okay, girl, fair enough. But yeah, like, she didn't sign anything. So I do think that it is possible. It is possible to get married, or at least, sort of do the ceremony and not sign anything, especially if you know something is coming up in the pipelines. As far as I know, even to this day, Yandy has not signed anything. And you can't blame her, because she's just like, I've worked so hard. I've worked so hard on my craft. I've made so much money all these years. I do not want anyone to come and sue me because of something my husband is responsible for. I know we're using husband loosely, right? But I understand it. Imagine you work so hard and then you ended up, oh God, I don't even know why you would end up with that, but let's just say you ended up with someone in that predicament. Would you sign? Of course, you wouldn't file or sign or do whatever it needs to take to make sure that it is valid as a marriage, because you also want to be able to protect your assets as well. So I think if Jennifer actually didn't sign anything and get that sorted, then maybe she's not as dumb as she acts sometimes. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. I know, like, she acts like dainty and acts like, oh, she doesn't really know anything. But maybe she knows more than we give her credit for. Maybe, just maybe. Now, let's move on to the obstacle course scene. Now, I will say, I actually really enjoyed watching the ladies at the obstacle course event. It was really entertaining. And I think the reason I like it is, like, it lets the ladies, like, leave their hair down or drop their hair down, whatever it is, and relax. Is like, let your hair down, relax, vibe, have fun. Not everything needs to be so serious, and I just really like that. And I think it added, like, a fun element and a youthful element to Basketball Wives. I do think that I like what Chantel brings in terms of that youthfulness and that youthful energy to the show. I think it's a fantastic idea to have something like, really, like, to have an activity that can get everyone pumped and have people on teams so that they get to compete and just make it a little bit fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Now, the bits that I know you guys want to talk about is when Evelyn and Jackie went at it. I think that's very, very, that was to be expected. But I will say, I actually prefer the way Jackie brought the mess. And I say that because I'm not one, I don't really like underhanded things. And like when you hide your hand or you relay the conversation, but you don't relay it properly. So now everyone is upset. I think that the way that Jackie relayed the conversation was top notch. I think she literally just said, "Yo, do you want to repeat what you said about the felon or thing?" And she let Jennifer say what she needed to say. She didn't say anything. She didn't repeat it and then repeat it wrongly and then cause a chaos. She's like, "Okay, I do not want to be in the middle of it. So you guys better squash it. And let me give you the opportunity to tell Evelyn what you said about her daughter without mentioning the daughter." And I absolutely love that. I know that, you know, we know Jackie's a little cuckoo, in my opinion, or acts a little cuckoo. So it may not be, it may just be an act. But I do think that she handled that in the best possible way. Now, her daughter just needs to mind her business when mommy is working, okay? Because she is starting to look like a hater every time mom is trying to do what mom needs to do. She is trying to push the storyline further. She's trying to get the conversations out. If there is tension, nobody is discussing conversations, there isn't going to be any storylines, nothing. So Jackie knows what she has to do to get the people talking. So let your mama do what she needs to do. Don't be out here like, "Mom, is now the right time?" Girl, I know it's your event, but if you're gonna be on Basketball Wives, honey, you need to understand that every event is an opportunity to address some issues. So it is what it is. That is what happens on any of these shows. So I just don't understand why you keep saying to your mom, "No, right now, mom is going to stare ish." Like, girl, chill. This is Jackie Christie we're talking about. Let her do her job, and you need to do yours. So that's how I feel about the whole Jackie and her daughter business. Now, when Jennifer said what she had to say, to be honest, I know people feel like, yeah, don't bring her daughter into it. But my thing is like, okay, backstory for those who haven't watched it. So Jennifer basically said, "Well, your daughter just had a baby by a felon. So, like, it's a bit rich. Like, you can't be out here saying I'm married to a felon if your daughter had a baby with a felon." So that was Jennifer's point, right? And I completely see where she's coming from, because you can't have all this smoke from me when your daughter is out here having a baby by a felon. Like, I feel like it's given like you're a little bit of a hypocrite and you need to get a dose of your own medicine. And of course, in usual Evelyn fashion, she was really upset. "Don't bring my daughter in it. And if you do, and you're not going to be able to stay." And I'm like, she got pissed off. You know how she gets when it comes to her daughter, which is fair enough, right? Everybody, I think if you had a daughter, whatever, you will ride for yours. Well, I don't know. Well, let me know through Rashida, Jackie. But you'll be out here riding for yours, right? So I get it. I completely get that. But I also get where Jennifer is coming from, because you can't be out here talking about her husband constantly dating a felon, or a husband being a felon rather, when your son-in-law is a felon. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. So whilst I hate that Shawnee was even, or Shanice rather, was even brought into it, because it's really sad, because Shanice actually seems like a really sweet girl. It's just a shame that, like, because of her mother's antics, she always gets brought up in these conversations. It's really sad. your mom is the reason you're constantly catching stray, Shanice. But genuinely, I get where she's coming from. I get where Jennifer is coming from. It's like I have to tell you, I have to show you why your standard is not an accurate standard. So I don't really blame her for basically like being like, yeah, nah, your daughter did this. So now I will say I suspect Evelyn is not going to take it well. We all know how Evelyn dramatizes everything when it comes to her daughter. So don't be surprised if Evelyn is pulling up to try to fight Jen at some point. This is just some of my predictions. I think she's going to almost like get in her face and maybe threaten her or something. She kind of already threatened her. Um, but I do think like there's going to be like some face off or of some sort, to be honest. So, but yeah, very, very interesting. Let me just check my notes to see if there's anything I missed. No, I think those are the things I really wanted to talk about. Um, I think that it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. I Yeah, like I'm just very curious to see how the rest of the season goes. I think if I had to have a prediction, I would say the relationship between Jackie and Christy, Jackie and her daughter is only going to get worse, and we are going to see it deteriorate every episode. This is just episode 2, and we've seen her daughter call her brother talking about it. We've seen her daughter talk about it to people on the show. So it's already not looking good, bruv. And it's only going to get worse, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I guess I'm excited to see what happens on the season. And yeah, let me know what you guys would rate this last episode. Also, do you believe that Jennifer is actually married legitimately, or do you think it's a facade marriage? Let me know in the comment section below. And for the people that will be listening to this on replay, thank you so much. Hit that like button, everyone. So replay gang as well, please hit that like button, and of course let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Guys, it's like 10 p.m. for me, and that's usually my bedtime. So I need to run off and get some rest. But thank you so much for hanging with me, even though I didn't even give you guys a heads up that I was coming on live. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging with me twice today. I think if this continues, I might be hanging with you guys even more often than twice in one day. So let's see how things go. You guys know that I don't be sticking to a schedule, at least for now. So make sure you hit that notification bell just so you know every single time that I post. I do also want to talk a little bit about Portia and Shamia from Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I think I'm going to do that on a different video. Just because I feel like you guys came for Basketball Wives and I don't want to deter the conversation here. Anyway, so I'm going to be putting a lot more Basketball Wives content out as well. So tea and whatever comes up in the space about it. So make sure that you're checking, for videos. It may be a video, it may be a live. So just make sure you constantly check the channel, please. And yeah, so thank you so much. I'll see you guys later. Hit that like button if you haven't still. I know you're enjoying the content, but hit that like button. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye.